Welcome. This is David Bowles, Human Meme. Today's topic: punching up, punching down. There used to be an old saying on the internet in the early days of blog publishing, and it was this: it was inconsiderate, even uncouth, to punch down to a lesser publication if you were the larger publication. It was just a matter of common courtesy to know your role, to know your place on either side of the publishing dyad. That meant something in the bigger scope of the old Wild West days of the early internet. You may be old enough to remember the old puppets, Punch and Judy, who would beat each other up just for the comedy of it. Yes, well, early blog publishing in the 1990s was that. They were on the same residence, the same reputation level, and they'd have at it. For example, if a mommy blogger writes something negative, punching up at the New York Times for what they said, well, common courtesy is, and was, the New York Times doesn't hit back or punch down to take on the mommy blogger. Because they, the New York Times, are bigger, stronger, and the more influential source of insight and blogging belonging. However, my human being friend, is that right? Should bigger publications just ignore the disputes and the endless punching up and the ongoing antagonistic interrogation of what the smaller sites published against the biggies? Well, online publishing today is more about money and advertising revenue than it ever is or ever was about getting along with each other and following social norms. This power dyad is all about control. Who controls the Internet of information? Who is in charge of what is being taught on the page and the thought beyond the keyboard? Well, those of us who try to write for a living know the answer to that question. The question of getting along is not always easy to answer. There is a certain meanness and a method to those who are heard and those we choose not to hear. Influence in publishing is like making a recommendation to those who think just like you. Yes, you're convincing the like-minded and the effortless, mindful, relational friendship. People publish, punch up, and perhaps even punch sideways, because they want to confirm their beliefs and assail their biases. Well, it's just human nature to want to punish those who think different from you, and to reward those who are stored in the same thought silo as you. Those who choose to spend their time punching up want to be heard and taken seriously. But since there's a meme and rules for belonging, they are rarely given the satisfaction of that particular attention. So how does the smaller voice, the minority voice, find a way to stand up and be heard against the violent wind of those entities who have taken over the majority mindshare? Well, that's a hard question to dissect, because power seeks power, and approval never punches downward to the irrelevance of the smaller circle of influence. Punching up to punch down? Well, it's all relative. I think everyone should be punching each other. Sure, why not? Let's have an all-out fight. Let's let the rabble rise and see who can come out the winner. Influencers need not be stuck in a golden silo when they can be just as effective fighting from a Midwestern grain bin. Yes, power and punching need equilibrium to be understood and appreciated. So, if a big blog or big publisher or other online entity only listens to itself and never to others because they don't want to punch or engage or get into a fight for thoughts and minds, well, then we all lose. Because in the fight comes the definition. In the war becomes the win. In the battle to righteousness and not just being right, we all become better and bigger in that bloodletting. So, my human meme friend, if you are small, I urge you not to be shy. Take a shot. Take a punch. Hit the big publishers in the soft spot right where they don't want you to belong. If, however, you happen to be a big publisher, I ask the same of you. Acknowledge those below you. Hey, throw a punch or two their way. Test their resilience and rubberization. Give them a chance to bleed and be heard, too. Let them take a shot. You take a shot. Let the match be fair and ubiquitous. And in the end, may the honor and the value be won and awarded to the publication that can take the hardest punch and still bounce back. Yes, bounce back with relevance and ingenuity and morality and the absolute urgency of the dying day. Thank you for listening. Be a human meme.